Have you ever looked at a celebrity and paused, wondering if there was more to their story than what the spotlight shows? In Hollywood, some of the most recognizable faces have not only transformed their careers, but also redefined identity, courage, and authenticity. In this video, we'll explore 15 inspiring journeys of transgender celebrities who broke barriers and challenged how the world sees fame and gender. Stay with us until the end, because the final story may completely change how you view Hollywood. Laverne Cox's rise to fame is more than a success story. It is a cultural shift that changed who gets to be seen and heard in Hollywood. Long before she became a household name, Laverne faced rejection, discrimination, and the pressure to fit into spaces that were never designed for her. Few could have predicted that she would become one of the most influential voices for transgender visibility in the world. Her breakthrough role as Sophia Bursette in Orange is the New Black was a turning point not just for her career, but for television itself. For the first time, millions of viewers were introduced to a transgender character portrayed with depth, dignity, and humanity. When Laverne became the first openly transgender person nominated for a Primetime Emmy Award in an acting category, history was made, and the industry was forced to pay attention. But Laverne's impact extends far beyond the screen. With every interview and public appearance, she speaks openly about issues many prefer to ignore, from workplace discrimination to healthcare access and violence against transgender women, especially women of color. Her words carry weight because they are rooted in lived experience. What keeps audiences watching isn't just her talent, it's her purpose. Laverne Cox reminds us that visibility is powerful, representation saves lives, and sometimes, one voice is enough to challenge an entire system. Caitlyn Jenner's story is one of the most talked about and transformative journeys in modern pop culture. But what the public saw was only part of a much deeper truth. Long before the world knew her as Caitlyn, she was celebrated as Bruce Jenner, an Olympic gold medalist who embodied strength, discipline, and the American dream after her historic victory at the 1976 Montreal Games. To millions, she was a national hero. But behind that iconic image was a private struggle that lasted for decades, one few could have imagined. In 2015, everything changed. Caitlyn publicly came out as transgender in a groundbreaking interview, followed by her now historic Vanity Fair cover with the words, "Call me Caitlyn." In that moment, the world stopped and listened. Her transition didn't just make headlines. It ignited a global conversation about gender identity, acceptance, and the courage it takes to live authentically under an unforgiving spotlight. What makes Caitlyn's journey so compelling isn't just the fame, it's the risk. She chose truth over comfort, knowing the backlash would be just as loud as the support. Since then, Caitlyn has used her platform to bring visibility to transgender issues, sparking dialogue in homes far beyond Hollywood. Love her or criticize her, one question remains. What happens when one person's truth forces society to rethink everything it thought it knew? Caitlyn Jenner's transition wasn't just personal, it became a cultural turning point that continues to shape conversations today. Janet Mock's journey is a powerful reminder that real change does not always begin in the spotlight. It often starts with someone brave enough to tell the truth. Long before she became a celebrated producer, writer, and cultural voice, Janet was a young girl learning how to survive in a world that rarely made space for transgender women of color. That determination to be seen would eventually reshape modern storytelling. Her memoir, Redefining Realness, marked a historic breakthrough. As one of the first best-selling autobiographies written by a transgender woman of color, the book offered an unfiltered look at identity, resilience, and self-discovery. Janet shared her life with honesty and vulnerability, refusing to soften her experiences for comfort. For many readers, it was the first time a transgender woman's story was told with depth, dignity, and humanity. Janet's influence expanded when she stepped into television. Through her work on FX's Pose, she helped bring the ballroom culture of 1980s and 1990s New York to mainstream audiences. As a writer, producer, and director, Janet became the first transgender woman of color to direct for a major television network, making history. What makes Janet Mock's story so compelling is the question it leaves behind. What happens when the silenced control the narrative? Her career proves storytelling creates empathy, visibility, and change lasting. Andreja Pejic's journey is one that quietly disrupted an entire industry before the world even realized what was happening. Long before she openly came out as transgender, Andreja was already challenging expectations as an androgynous model who seamlessly walked both men's and women's runways, something almost unheard of in high fashion at the time. Designers were captivated, audiences were intrigued, and fashion rules were suddenly no longer fixed. Born in Bosnia and raised in Australia, Andreja rose to international fame in the early 2010s, becoming a symbol of fluid beauty and artistic freedom. But behind the striking images and global campaigns was a personal journey still unfolding. In 2014, Andreja publicly came out as a transgender woman, marking a powerful new chapter in both her life and the fashion world's history. Her transition didn't end her career, it redefined it. Andreja proved that authenticity and success are not opposites. She went on to appear on major magazine covers, star in high-profile campaigns, and use her platform to speak openly about identity, visibility, and self-acceptance. What makes Andreja's story so compelling is the question it raises. How far can beauty go when it refuses to be confined by labels? In an industry built on rigid standards, Andreja Pejić stands as living proof that confidence, truth, and courage can reshape how the world defines beauty itself. MJ Rodriguez's rise is a story of talent meeting history at exactly the right moment. Before the awards and acclaim, MJ was a performer driven by passion, resilience, and a deep desire to be seen as her full self. Few could have predicted that her journey would help redefine what success looks like for transgender artists in Hollywood. Her breakthrough role as Blanca Evangelista in FX's Pose changed television forever. Blanca was not written as a stereotype, but as a leader, a mother figure, and a woman filled with love and strength. MJ's performance brought tenderness and authority to the screen, allowing audiences to connect with a transgender character on a deeply human level. Viewers didn't just watch Blanca's story, they felt it. In 2021, MJ made history by becoming the first transgender woman nominated for an Emmy Award in a leading acting category, followed by her Golden Globe win for Best Actress in a Drama Series. These milestones were more than personal victories. They signaled a shift in an industry that had long excluded transgender performers from its highest honor. Beyond acting, MJ is a singer and advocate who uses her voice to push for inclusion. Her story raises a powerful question. What happens when authenticity is finally recognized as excellence? MJ Rodriguez proves representation opens doors for all. Isis King's journey marks a groundbreaking moment in reality television and a turning point for transgender visibility in mainstream media. When she appeared on America's Next Top Model, Isis became the first openly transgender contestant to compete on the show, introducing millions of viewers to a story they had rarely seen before. From the moment she stepped onto the runway, it was clear she was carrying more than ambition. She was carrying representation. Facing intense public scrutiny, Isis handled every challenge with confidence, grace, and authenticity. While the competition was demanding, her presence alone challenged stereotypes and expanded how audiences understood beauty, gender, and strength. For many viewers, Isis was the first transgender woman they had ever seen portrayed not as a headline, but as a real person with dreams and talent. After her time on the show, Isis did not disappear from the spotlight. Instead, she continued to break barriers by transitioning into acting, earning praise for her performances in projects like When They See Us and With Love. Through these roles, she brought depth and humanity to her characters, proving that transgender stories deserve complexity, respect, and emotional truth. Beyond entertainment, Isis King has become a vocal advocate for transgender rights, body positivity, and self-love. She openly shares her experiences to empower others to live authentically. Her story leaves one lasting question. How many doors can open when someone is brave enough to simply be seen? Isis King's legacy shows that visibility can change lives, including those still waiting to be recognized. Gigi Gorgeous's journey represents a new kind of celebrity, one born in the digital age, where authenticity can reach millions without traditional gatekeepers. Long before mainstream media embraced transgender stories, Gigi was sharing her life online, unknowingly becoming a lifeline for people around the world who were searching for understanding and hope. She began her YouTube career in the late 2000s with beauty tutorials and lifestyle content. But over time, her channel evolved into something far more personal. In 2013, Gigi publicly came out as transgender and chose to document her transition with striking openness. Viewers didn't just witness physical changes, they followed her emotional growth, fears, joy, and self-discovery in real time. That honesty created a powerful bond between Gigi and her audience. For many young viewers, Gigi Gorgeous was the first transgender woman they had ever encountered. Through humor, vulnerability, and confidence, she normalized conversations about gender identity in a way that felt relatable and human. Her influence quickly expanded beyond YouTube, leading to documentaries, public speaking, and advocacy for LGBTQ+ acceptance. What makes Gigi's story so compelling is the question it leaves behind. What happens when someone dares to live openly in front of the world? Gigi proves that transformation is not just about appearance. It is about courage, self-love, and the freedom to exist without apology. Dominique Jackson's journey is one of power, survival, and unapologetic authenticity, shaped long before Hollywood ever knew her name. Best known for her commanding role as Elektra Abundance on FX's Pose, Dominique did not simply portray a character. She embodied history, resilience, and pride. On screen, Elektra was fierce, elegant, and complex. Off-screen, Dominique's real-life story is equally compelling. Born in Tobago, Dominique faced rejection, violence, and displacement for living openly as herself. Forced to leave home at a young age, she navigated hardship, poverty, and isolation with little support. Yet those experiences did not break her spirit, they forged it. After arriving in New York City, Dominique found refuge in the ballroom scene, a chosen family that offered safety, expression, and strength. When Pose brought ballroom culture into mainstream television, Dominique's performance became a tribute to generations of transgender women who had been ignored or erased. She portrayed Elektra with commanding authority and deep vulnerability, showing that strength and softness can exist together. Beyond acting, Dominique Jackson is a passionate advocate for transgender rights, safety, and global representation. She speaks openly about survival, self-worth, and visibility, reminding others that authenticity is not weakness, it is power. Her story leaves one powerful question behind. What happens when those once silenced refuse to disappear? Dominique Jackson proves that living boldly. As these stories show, transformation in Hollywood is not just about fame or appearance. It is about courage, truth, and the power of visibility. Each of these individuals challenged expectations and helped reshape how the world understands gender, identity, and authenticity. Their journeys remind us that representation matters, and that living openly can inspire change far beyond the screen. Hollywood then and now looks very different because of voices like theirs, and the conversation is still evolving. If these stories moved you, inspired you, or made you see the world differently, let us know in the comments which journey impacted you the most. Don't forget to like this video, share it with others, and subscribe to the channel for more powerful stories you won't want to miss.